guys, welcome back to the Seth Morrison channel. A few updates for you. Work's going good. New bike kit came in the mail yesterday, day before yesterday actually. Went together pretty well. Took me about 3 hours like usual. I would have filmed it, but I've come to realize without a second pair of hands, trying to do any kind of filming like that is a little bit more on the difficult side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post or splice a picture in here of the current build before I do some additional upgrades, i.e. handlebars, maybe different grips. The ones that came with this Black Stallion kit from gasbike.net were actually pretty nice. I like the fact they are now using a 2-piece pineapple bushing instead of the 3-piece. That was pretty cool. A little bit about the same install, but it looks like it's going to be a lot stronger. And they definitely got rid of the spatial slots on the, or like adjustment slots, I guess, on the rear sprocket. So it's more sturdy, I guess. Middle of break-in period right now. So that's another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to see how this one performs. I don't know if I'm going to go with the high compression head like I did on the last bike. I think that was what was causing a lot of my problems because it was acting like a big old heat soak, and instead of dispersing heat because it was so thick, it was just building it, and then the thinner aluminum of the cylinder and everything was then absorbing that heat and causing the pistons to seize up because the rings were pinching themselves off. Because before I put that high compression head on there, I never had any real major issues with piston seizing. So I think I'm going to leave that off. I did get a expansion chamber muffler for my last kit before it was stolen. So I put that on there instead of the stock exhaust. And then I also did put the high performance carburetor with the like Canon style air filter on it. So we'll see how that works. I've definitely got it running richer than I normally do. Reason being is with the altitude that I'm at, I think I need to run it a little richer because it is definitely leaner up here in the oxygen wise. It's a higher altitude, not by much, but enough that I think it's going to make a difference. So before the video is over, I will put in a few second clip of that bike now that it's built. But other than that, I mean, I've definitely got a good cable lock for it, and I got to get some of that natural gas line Teflon tape for the petcock on the gas tank because it is leaking. I just didn't have any when I put it in that day. I mean, I could wrench that petcock down pretty hard and seal it up that way too, but I don't want to risk damaging anything this time. I'm trying to do everything right instead of half-assing it and hillbillying it because that's what I normally do. And then I did order some of those SA Defense base things. They came in, they're pretty nice. They're a little thinner than I anticipated, but I had a coworker tell me that was the case with those. So, but it seems to work. Only downside is with the safety glasses that I wear, if I breathe through my nose, it goes up and fogs the safety glasses up. So mouth breathing while I'm wearing that, that's for sure. But I think I'm going to stick with Gasbike for the majority of my engine components because their stuff usually seems to be pretty good. Bikeberry just has way too many variances, different pistons, piston heights, piston wrist pin gaps, or not gaps, heights as well. Whereas Gasbike usually tries to keep everything the same. So that way, if you need to buy something, you can just go ahead and order, and you don't have to worry about, well, they've got 4 piston combinations. Is mine going to be the one that's out that day? Because I've had that issue with Bikeberry with trying to get any one of their certain pistons, is I'd always find the one that I needed was the one that was sold out the most of, or most times. Um, but my dad back home does have another set of ape hangers for this one from my granddad's property. So I know I did lose those handles with that last bike, but things happen for a reason, and maybe these ones are better. Um, Either way, things are going to turn out better for me. That's just the way I'm looking at things. Work's going good. I am actually in the process of getting my GED at the community college here, and I'm also enrolled in college courses starting in January. Also, I have decided that instead of doing accounting like I originally planned on, that's not the kind of line of work that I think I really want to get into. I noticed that they had an Associate's of Science degree in animal science in the agriculture industry, and that's what I grew up doing, raising animals, vaccinations, branding, castrating, learning everything to do about breeding genetics in high school and such. So I think that is the avenue that I'm going to pursue, because there are a lot of job opportunities in that I feel I would be a good fit in. Now, will I make as much as an accountant? Maybe, maybe not. Will I make more? Doubtful. But it boils down to what makes me happy, and that's what I need to focus on. I can't just do work that is going to make good money but me be miserable. I watched my stepdad do that most of my life. He enjoyed his job at first, but as time went on, a lot of idiocies had developed in the industry and that he worked in, and that made his life a lot more difficult, and unreliable people that he worked with and everything else. My dad always said when he retired, if he got another job, it was going to be something he wanted to do this time, not something that he had to do. Um, so I think that's going to be the end of the talking portion of this video. I'm going to go ahead and post in that picture of the new bike build. I'm going to try to do a walk around with this one like I have my other two as well. This one's pretty much the same as the last one, Hyper Beach Cruiser. Instead of the Jet kit, I did the Black Stallions kit. And then also I'm going to put the ape hangers on it and such, and I'm going to try to do some different stuff with this one, I think. I definitely like this expansion chamber muffler that I got. It's a lot quieter than my last one, so I don't think I'm going to draw as much attention with it as either, which I know in this kind of deal, keeping it loud is probably the best option, but at the same time, I don't want to draw unwanted attention, because I think that's what got my last bike stolen. Was it stood out as a one of a kind. It was loud and everybody saw it, and a lot of people I talked to said it was a really cool bike, so I think somebody decided that it was cool enough for them to steal. So I will get back with you guys here in the next week or two, kind of give you an update on what's going on with that, and we'll go from there. All right, check out the bike.